So it's just a short video today with just an overview of the movements we're going to use in the class or in the session today. So starting with the lateral lunge, we're going to go for 4 sets of 10 on each leg. So initially we're pairing off 2 movements. We're going to pair off the lateral lunge and then something for the hips and glutes. So like a glute bridge or a single leg glute bridge next. So if the lateral lunge is pretty comfortable or something that's easy enough for us to do, what we can do if we have a weight, if we have a kettlebell or a dumbbell, is we can just use a weighted variation to this one. So as you can see here, kind of goblet position with the weight, and same thing, just stepping out to the side. Strong landing through the heel and the toes. So when we get 10 of those done on each side, what we're going to do is take a short recovery, and we're going to go on to our hip movement next. So single leg glute bridge, we're going to shoot for 10 on each leg. The key here is really trying to recruit the glute muscles as opposed to say hamstrings. And if you do feel that the hamstrings are kind of kicking in and doing too much work, instead of the single leg variation, what we can just do is we can put both feet on the floor. And one thing I find really useful for muscle recruitment is an isometric contraction or hold. As you can see here, so we're not moving up and down, just trying to hold the position, make sure my knees don't cave in. And again, trying to tuck the hips under. So again, you'll see me here in a second, just jabbing the glutes, just try and wake up those muscles, keep them firing. So we're on to B now. So next 3 movements together is the incline push up, just a push up variation. Make things a little more interesting. Again, tight core here. We've done the push up variation, or even actually as an adaptation, we can do dips instead. If this is too challenging, or even if push ups are too challenging, we can just give the dips a go. When B1 is done, we're going to go into B2, which is something a little different, just a static core variation. So we're in a bear crawl position. What I'm trying to do here is almost the shoulder touches that we do in the classes. We're trying to touch the opposite hip. You can see there is movement there, but I'm trying to minimize the movement. It's tough, but trying to keep myself as still as possible through my torso. So knees are under the hips, hands should be under the shoulders. B3 is a star plank or a side plank position. So 20 seconds each side on the star plank ideally. And if this is too challenging, we can just do instead is go back to a regular side plank. And if the regular side plank is challenging, we can just bend our knees and just put the knees on the floor. Okay, with all these variations, we're just looking for alignment here. It's just a straight line from our ankles through our knees, hips, and shoulders. So the last bit is the Copenhagen plank. We can do a modified version here, just knees bent. Make sure there is 0 pressure on the inside of your knee at any time doing this. This is the standard Copenhagen plank, so kind of a longer position. Again, make sure there's no pressure on the inside of the top knee. And if these are too challenging, if you do have access to a resistance band, what we can just do is some standing band hip adductions instead. As you can see here, just trying to use the inside of that thigh, the adductor muscles, to squeeze the outside leg towards my standing leg. And there's some movements for today's workout.